Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Welcome to the podcast Pocket Full of Sunshine. If you are new, thank you for joining us this evening. If you are a regular listener, thank you for tuning in and for being patient with me. I know I haven't posted in the past 2 weeks. I've had a lot going on emotionally, mentally, physically, just all the things. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about what I've had going on over the past couple weeks and just what's been going on in life. So, as you know, the reason I do this podcast is because I want you all to feel like you're not alone in your grief journeys, and to just let you know there's people out there that understand and love you and care about you and want to help you through whatever it is that you're going through. But I also want you all to know that you don't always have to be okay. You know, like you all have seen me on here talking about my grief, talking about my trauma, talking about my childhood. I've been on here smiling. I've been on here laughing. I've been on here crying and in just devastation and just raw, so that you all understand grief and the waves that we have to ride through it. I have recently been working on a project that I will talk about soon on the podcast, but I think it's going to be something that is great and beneficial for all of my listeners, for myself, for my family. So I've been a little bit busy with that other project that I have going on, and we've just had a lot of things going on over the last couple of weeks. My son started basketball. My daughter made the volleyball team for school. So we've been doing that kind of stuff. My one daughter has pet rats. We have 7 pet rats. They're so cool. I love them so much. But one of them has been sick, so we have had to have difficult conversations about what we're going to do about her. It's never easy losing a pet, especially when they're emotional support animals, and they have really helped Ashton through her trauma of losing people that she loves and just dealing with her grief and things. So her reptiles and her rodents are her babies. And just gearing up for the holidays, we just have so much that we deal with when we're going through grief, when we're just dealing with life in general. Christmas is a huge stressor. If you don't celebrate Christmas, then you may not fully understand that. But we put such an emphasis on buying gifts for other people and buying gifts for our kids and giving them these materialistic things that we forget the reason for the season, you know. I remember when Kylie, Hayden, and Jocelyn were little, even when Kylie and Hayden were little, before Jocelyn was even born, we baked a cake every year for Christmas for Jesus. And we did not open our gifts until we sung happy birthday to Jesus that morning and blew out the candles. Because you can't have a birthday party without cake, right? And so they would open their gifts and have cake for breakfast and recognize Jesus first before any of the gifts that they got that day. We haven't done that in a while. Maybe we'll do that again this year. I think the kids would probably really enjoy that. But speaking of gifts, Hayden had such a giving heart. And I know if you all follow my podcast page on Facebook, I really need to do better about posting on Instagram. I post my episodes on TikTok, but I really don't post too much else on my TikTok page. Just inspirational type of stuff. But if you follow me on Facebook, then you have seen where for Hayden's birthday this year, I set up a wish list on Amazon with toys that can be easily sanitized, and we are going to take all of the toys that have been sent to us, and we've had so many sent to us so far. I think a shutter just fell off my house because it's super windy here today. And pretty sure that's what that sounded like. I'm gonna have to go check that out when I get off of here. Anyway, we've had all these items sent to us. Actually, let me grab one so I can show you guys. Okay, I'm back. So we've had all these cool little toys sent to us off of my wish list. Thank you to everyone that has sent something to us. We've got, if you're listening and you're not watching my video, we have little toy cars that can be easily sanitized and played with. We've got little writing boards, like the magnetic ones. Sensory fidget tubes, super cool for the kids to be able to play with while they're sick and in the hospital. The reason we're doing this is because when Hayden was small, Hayden spent lots of time in the hospital. She had asthma and allergies, and little more fidgets, all kinds of cool stuff in here. There's so much more that I'm just not going to take out right now because it's so much. And I appreciate all of what you all have sent to us so far. And so we will be donating all of this to Fairfax Hospital because that's where Hayden spent her last hours of life. My twins were there when they had RSV when they were small, and we almost lost Carter to RSV. But when kids are in the hospital and they're hooked up to all these tubes and all these IVs and things like that, they're pretty much stationary, right? So when Hayden was in the hospital when she was little, she always was stuck in this crib, very minimal toys, things to play with, whatever. And so when she got older, she became very passionate. Well, not really older. She was a small child. She became very passionate about making sure that the kids that were in the hospital, like she was, had toys and things to play with. So on her 9th birthday, she asked all of her friends to bring something similar to this, a toy that could be easily sanitized and that she could take to the hospital and donate for the kids on the pediatric floor. And so we did that. And I have a picture somewhere of her with all the toys in front of the hospital. I need to dig it out. And they sent her a little thank you card and all this stuff. So anyway, that's why we're doing that this year for Hayden's birthday. I will drop the link to my wish list on my podcast page and in the comments on the YouTube video. In case you just feel generous and want to send something in honor of Hayden for her birthday, that will be donated to the hospitalized children. And then we've also been doing homeless bags. So we've been giving out these little bags to homeless people in our area. And there's not much in them, but it's like a little toothbrush, toothpaste. I have a wish list for this type of stuff too that I've posted. We've got some snacks in here. We've got thermal blankets, like the thermal wraps that they can wrap in. We've got body wipes. We've got hand warmers. We've got water, bottles of water in here, Neosporin, first aid stuff, just lots of hygiene items and things just to help our homeless out because it's so cold right now. I freeze all the time. I'm in my house and you all just saw me wrapped up in my blanket, right? So we're just trying to do things in honor of Hayden that we know that she would want to do and she would appreciate because she had such a giving heart and she always wanted to give to people that didn't have. So we've just really been focused on that over the last couple weeks and trying to get all this stuff together and just do some stuff to honor her. I've really been struggling a little bit emotionally because it's just hard. Christmas is hard, especially when we decorate the tree. Hayden and I used to put up 5 Christmas trees every year, one in every room of the house, and she would put one in her bedroom. And now I can barely bring myself to put up 1 tree. And my tree is beautiful. I love it so much. It has all these little ornaments on it from my kids from when they were small. Every ornament they've ever made on my tree there. But then when I set this tree up and I'm looking at all these ornaments and I have her babies first and then I have ornaments that people gave me last year when it was her first year in heaven, and just having that stuff together, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. So it's super hard. Holidays are super hard. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying. If you've never lost a child, and you don't understand the pain of it, I am so glad for you. I am so glad for you. I never would wish this on anybody, ever. But if you've lost a child, and whether you have other children or not, like when you were expected just to go on and move on and do all the things, you know, that we always did before that child was taken from us. And as much as we want to, and we do it because that's what we're expected to do, right? But the whole time inside you have this weird emptiness, but at the same time devastation, but at the same time anger. It's like a hurricane. Like I always say, grief is like riding the waves, right? Like sometimes the waves are calm, sometimes they're, you know, a little rocky, and then other days they knock you on your ass, take you under, and you got to fight like hell to get back up. And when it comes to decorating this Christmas tree, I feel like I am in the eye of a hurricane. Like it just, Facebook memories have been my worst. I haven't even looked at them, very minimal in the last couple weeks. I repost the Justice for Hayden ones, and I don't go further than that because I know there's going to be pictures in there, there's going to be memories in there of all of us laughing and smiling and the same person that took her away from us. And I really struggle with that. I recorded an episode last week that I never posted because it's about embracing your trauma and welcoming your trauma and not being angry at it. But then I just felt like I couldn't post that because for this particular thing, for my child being taken from me by the hands of somebody else that just didn't care, that is something that I am struggling with. And no matter how much I get on this podcast and try to be positive and try to talk about it and try to spread courage and inspiration, that's still something that I struggle with every day. So I don't ever want you guys to think that just because I'm on this podcast, like I'm healed, I'm now helping other people, this and that. I don't ever believe that any of us are fully ever healed from a trauma or from a loss, especially the loss of a child. That's a part of you. You carried that, you grew that body inside of you. You gave life to this person. You cared for this person. You took care of them for as long as you had them. And then they're suddenly ripped away from you. That's a piece of your soul, a piece of your body, a piece of your DNA that is now gone. So don't ever think that I'm on here because I'm okay, because I'm not. I'm really not. And most days I look like I'm fine, and I go to work and I go to games, I go to school, I do all the things. I cook, I clean, I do all the things that we're supposed to do. Right now I have a sink full of dishes that have been there for, I guarantee, 7 days. And that's because I'm just not okay right now. It's exhausting. It's a lot. It's everything I can do is to get up and get ready and go to work and come home and do homework and get the kids ready and go to their sports and then do the same thing all over again tomorrow. When really, I just want to lay in my bed and scream and cry. Because it's Christmas, and that was Hayden's favorite. And yes, I have 5 other kids, but I don't have my 6. And then I look at this tree and I look how beautiful it is. And then at the same time, I'm so disgusted by it because I have my baby's first ornament 3 branches up from her baby's firstborn, 3 branches up from baby's first in heaven, from her first in heaven. And I just don't, it just makes you just want to throw the whole tree out the window. But we know we can't do that, right? We embrace that trauma. I don't sit here and say, why did this happen to us? Why did this happen to her? Because I know why. And I had people tell me, when Hayden was first killed, like, I don't know why God does this. And I would say, God didn't do this. God doesn't kill people. God didn't kill Hayden. God didn't take her. Someone else did. Someone else is responsible for this. And if I didn't have faith, if I didn't believe in God, and I didn't sit here every day and pray my way through this and pray my way out of this and just pray for my soul to be at peace, I would be so angry and so absorbed and drowning in what I couldn't control, right? And so I always tell myself, like, focus on what you can control. I'm sorry, guys, I choked myself up and now. But we have to focus on the controllable, the things that we can control. And what I can control right now is trying my best to keep it together for my kids. It's okay for them to see me cry. They saw me cry on Sunday at the tree lighting that the Kevin Riley Foundation sponsored. They sponsor lives lost to acts of violence every year, and they light a tree and they put all the names on this tree. And it's just an amazing day to be able to come together as a community of people who understand the same type of grief and same type of loss of your family member being taken by the hands of someone else intentionally. And those families come together and they cry and they support one another and just show love for one another. And it's the hardest thing you'll ever see, but also the most comforting for the families, because we know that's the one day a year we can go show our true raw grief and not have to worry about somebody else being upset or feeling awkward or not knowing what to say, because every single person there knows and understands, and they know exactly what we're going through right now. And so I appreciate that so much. And the Kevin Riley Foundation, they're amazing, and they do a Giving Tuesday. So follow them on Facebook, and if you ever feel led, please give to them on Tuesdays and help support their mission. They do a Cakes for Kids. They do Kicks for Kev in honor of Kevin Riley, who is their family member that they lost to an act of violence. They give new shoes to kids in need, and cakes to kids that have birthdays that can't necessarily afford a cake or something like that. And then they do several other events throughout the year in recognition of lives lost to acts of violence. So they're just such a hope and a light in something so dark, and it's amazing. So anyway, that's what we've had going on the last couple of weeks. I just miss Hayden so much. We all do. You think it gets easier, and it just doesn't. It just doesn't. So keep us in your thoughts and your prayers in the next couple of weeks. I am not going to be posting another episode until after the new year in January. That second week of January, on that Wednesday, I will resume posting. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to revamp some of the podcast. I'm going to work on this other project that I have to work on. And I'm just going to let myself grieve. I'm going to let myself feel all the feels. I'm going to just remember my baby and the joy that I used to see on all of my kids' faces on Christmas and on holidays, on every single holiday when we were together. I have a picture on my wall that says "Together is our favorite place to be," because it always was. It always was. The holidays were the best. And not that they're not great now, because my other kids make them amazing. Kylie does her best to try to make sure everything is perfect for the little kids and for me, and the little kids just still have this joy in their little hearts for all the holidays, and their family and the love they have for them is just so great. And we have such a supportive, amazing family, a wonderful family, and I love them so, so much. I have an amazing man in my life that is just the love that he has shown me and my kids, especially over the last 2 weeks when we've been dealing with all of these emotions and all this grief and all of these things, is just beyond anything I can ask for. And it's just amazing to have that love and that support still, and to be able to continue to still do something and find a purpose in our pain. Because yeah, we sit here, we cry, we miss Hayden, we love Hayden, and we're doing things that we know she would want us to do, like giving these gifts to the hospital or handing these bags out on the side of the road to anyone that we see that is struggling and doesn't have a warm place to sleep. It's not much, but it's something. We're giving back. We're spreading her love. We're spreading her hope. We're giving some encouragement. And it's just a very, very bittersweet feeling, knowing that even though she's not here, we're still carrying on her giving legacy, her loving legacy. So thank you all for tuning in this evening and for watching my episode. I hope you all have an amazing Christmas, amazing holiday, whatever holiday it is that you celebrate, and just enjoy this time with your families, enjoy this time with your friends. If you have someone in heaven or that isn't with us anymore, just know that they're always watching, they're always listening, and they love you so much. And they don't want you to have regret. They don't want us to feel regret. We can't go back and change anything that happened or anything that we said or did, but we can do better moving forward for that person. So that's the goal for the new year. And go into 2025 just focusing on the things that you can control, focusing on being the best person that you can be, and doing everything that you can do to honor that person that you lost. Even if it's yourself, if you're struggling with addiction, or you're struggling with mental health, or you're struggling with anything that has taken you out of character, right? And you feel like the person that you used to be has died, mourn that person. It's okay to grieve for who you used to be, because that's a loss as well. But change is not comfortable, right? And if we want change, if we want positive change, we have to be uncomfortable, and we have to get up and we have to move. So it's okay to mourn who you used to be and embrace who you're gonna be. And by doing that, you're going into 2025 knowing that you've got places to be and you've got things to do. And there's only one way to do that: turning all of that pain that you left behind with that person that is no longer here into a purpose, to your greater self, to your higher self, to the best version of you. So I love you guys so much, and I appreciate your support, and I can't wait to get some feedback in January on all of my improvements that I'm going to make to this podcast while I'm out. So I love you guys, and again, have a happy, happy holiday and a wonderful new year, and we will talk in January. I love you. Bye.